Hi everyone, and welcome to the Higher Ed Entrepreneur Getting Started series. I'm Kaylee Robsham, and I'm the CEO and founder of the Higher Ed Entrepreneur. I left my student affairs job in 2015 and I started working for a higher ed startup company. For 2 years, I learned everything about marketing and starting a business, and eventually I left to start my own coaching business in January 2018, and then I scaled it to 6 figures this year in 2019. I was really thinking about the Getting Started series, and if I went back to do it all over again, what were the essentials that I would need to get started in my business? Whether I was a coach, consultant, maybe just picking up my side hustle for the first time. I started my side hustle when I was in my 9-to-5 for 6 months before I left my job. So if you're interested to hear what essentials you're just getting started in your business, keep watching for what I would do if I were to go back and do it all over again. So the first question I would ask myself to figure out how I want to make money, does it bring me joy, is what are the skills and accomplishments that I have had up until this point to get me to where I am today? And to help me understand and perceive myself better, I would ask family and friends and colleagues and coworkers if I felt comfortable, and have them reflect back to me my strengths and where they have seen examples in my life where I have exhibited those strengths. So that's the first step that I would take. The second thing that I would do would be wanting to understand who my ideal client is in order to sell something to or create something for, right? That's why most of us are in entrepreneurship, because we want to create something to make a change or an impact with our ideal client. So it's really important to actually know your story before thinking about your buyer's persona, unless you're creating a specific product and you already know your ideal client. You already know who is going to buy that product. Now, if you're going to like coaching or consulting, it's really important that you know your story, because we know from buying psychology that people are more likely to invest in you as a coach or consultant if you have a really compelling and meaningful story behind your services. The third thing that I would do is go out and do market research. And you don't really have to go anywhere to do this. You can actually do it all from the interwebs. So I want to make sure that my business idea is profitable, and I want to make sure that other people potentially are doing it and are successful with that. Now, you might be also creating an idea that's completely new, and it might be a hybrid of two things. Whatever your idea is, making sure that that type of business model is successful if you want financial success from the get-go of building your business. That is exactly what I would do. So I would be looking keywords on Google. I'd go into Facebook, specifically Facebook groups of the keywords that I'm looking for, and I would search for Facebook groups. I would then look and see who the owner of the Facebook group is and find their website, because Facebook groups are so successful in nurturing your ideal client. So it's important to see what groups are already out there so that you can do your own research and join the groups if you're actually interested in them. And it's really important not to copy other people and really bring your own ideas forward. You can gain inspiration from other people because most people's ideas are not their own. They're from someone else originally. But the difference is that you find success from telling that story and living it, and this ties into the next piece. The fourth thing that I would do is use anything that is free. I would not invest for the first few months into your business unless it's a coach or a mentor where they can kind of help you speed up in business. I was looking at websites and I was kind of getting lost with some of the things that can be really shiny and flashy with your first steps of business. So what I would do is create my content and start building my personal brand, because that's going to be the most important thing for telling your story and getting your most compelling content across to your ideal clients and to your audience. People in your audience can still refer out to your ideal clients, so it's really important to use the networks that you have right now. There's so much abundance in the networks that you have right now. So reaching out to them and letting them know that you're starting a business is so helpful, and just a quick email or maybe a text or a message to let people know where you're at, and doing a really fun launch on Facebook or Instagram. I also use LinkedIn. And if I were to go back and start over, I would definitely use YouTube and document my entire journey and do more vlogging, because YouTube is a huge platform and I see a lot of new entrepreneurs find a lot of success on that platform. So it's really important when you're building your brand to share advice, and more importantly, document, don't create. Like, people really get interested in the entrepreneurship journey because it's something that a lot of people want to do, especially in today's world. So documenting every step of your process really helps people understand where you got. As you build and as you see success, people are gonna want to know more about your journey. So that's something that I definitely wish I did more of in the beginning of my business. The fifth thing that I would do is I would go back to that market research, and now that I have been building an audience for some time, I would make sure that I hop on calls with a few people who want to, and also have them answer a survey through Google Forms, Typeform. And then what I'm gaining, the information that I'm receiving from them, is around their desires, their dreams, and their goals. And I'm offering them a solution to their problem, or I'm offering a product, also a solution to their problem, or something that they don't know that they need, right? So Steve Jobs created the iPhone, not because people needed it, because people didn't know that it could exist until he created it. So creating something that people think that they need. So then I take those desires, dreams, and goals that they have, and I create a really juicy lead magnet. And you can create this on MailChimp without a website. Something that I see too many entrepreneurs get stuck up around is building a brand and building out a website. I didn't have a website for the first 6 to 8 months of my business, and I had between like 3 to 5 to 6K months. I just launched my branded website after 1.5 years of building my business. So try not to get too caught up in those things. But having a freebie or like a juicy lead magnet that goes to a newsletter where you can communicate with people and send out updates on how your business building is going, people will respond really well to that, because you're offering them something that's going to help them, that's valuable, and you also get that energy exchange for their email address. So the next thing that I would do is start acquiring beta clients. I would ask people if they want to be in my program, if they want to start working with me, if they want this service. And more than likely, people are gonna say yes, because you've warmed them up, you've been talking to them, or you did market research with them. And so in this beta client or heavily discounted offer, I want to make sure I'm writing up a small agreement so that I'm getting a testimonial from them if they enjoy the service after, and they're also giving me feedback. That way I have social proof. I have testimonials that I can put on Instagram, I have testimonials that I can put on YouTube or Facebook, and eventually my website. And finally, the last thing that I would do is get really clear on my positioning with my language around marketing, and figure out where my ideal client hangs out the most, so that I make sure that they're seeing this message multiple times, because in buying psychology, people have to see something 7 to 15 times before they make a decision around buying it. So the positioning is really important, that I'm using the language that I took from all of the market research, from my beta clients, the feedback that they gave me, and I'm able to craft something amazing for my ideal client. And this means that you'll never really have a pricing issue unless it's way too high, depending on what you offer. It's more likely a positioning issue. So you're positioning your offer so that it really is attractive to your ideal client. If I were to go back to getting started in my business, these are the key concepts that I would focus on to make sure I have a clear to-do list and to not get distracted by anything else. It's so easy to want to chase shiny objects, but if you follow the step-by-step guide, I promise that you will see success. If you aren't sure how to get things in motion to do the really nitty-gritty things, feel free to sign up for the SA Pro to CEO waitlist, which is our group coaching program for the higher ed entrepreneur, where if you want to start your side hustle or start your full-time business, you're surrounded by a community and led by a few coaches and myself to really get your business up and running and to become profitable. Also, let me know which step was most helpful for you, and feel free to share this on Instagram and tag a friend that needs to hear it too. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I can't wait for our next Getting Started series.